Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Sue Breakdown. My name is Trey, and today we're looking at the Dom. The NS-09 Dom, piloted by, in this case, Gaia, but could also be Ortega or MASH, which is really cool in my opinion, is probably one of the heavier suits that you're going to get to play as. Weight-wise, what it feels like anyway, not full weight-wise, that'd probably be the Nightingale. But the Dom feels heavy, and the reason the Dom feels heavy is because you're actually going back to the ground every time you get out of the air. At the same time, though, the Dom has a lot of maneuverability. Once you've figured out that it's not as heavy as you think it is. Also, by the way, melee cancels are the best. I love that you can just cancel into another melee attack and evade. We haven't really talked about anything that the Dom has. I've just been using the melee, because the melee's a lot of fun to use with the Dom. Now, when it comes to the actual Dom's abilities, the Striker goes forward for an upper hand strike, which you can also do that same two-handed strike. But the best thing that the Dom has in its kit is the Jetstream Attack, for sure. 100%. You can either summon them in to follow you around and duplicate your attacks in the form of a Jetstream Attack, or, once he gets up here, you can actually, if by using a direction while you do it, you can send them off to attack. Your burst is pretty good as well. It's a melee combo, so make sure that you're not too far away when you use it. But it's a really flashy melee combo that I really enjoy. Almost as much as I enjoy this fun side swing into a stab, which is amazing every time I do it. The Jetstream, of course. It's just a really fun 200 to use because of the amount of options that it has. The Dom has a response to just about everything that you can try and bring against it. It also can throw its bazooka, which is really fun in my opinion. It has that spin too, which is really nice. You can use it to cancel out of a lot of attacks that you might not be able to cancel out of otherwise. All in all, and that's just the first match in, I think the Dom is a really, really solid unit, and definitely not something to be forgotten and not to be overlooked. I know a lot of people look at it and go, it's a Dom, it's a 200 cost. It can't stand up to a 500 cost. No, I've used the Dom many times to stop 500s, because so often people think that it's all about your cost. It's all about how high your cost is, how much damage you can do. The Dom puts out a really solid amount of damage for a 200 cost, while also being extremely mobile, and that's not even counting in the spin that it has alone that makes a huge difference. Even green lock is not really a problem if you can line the shots up. Boom. Yeah, the Dom's a blast to use. It also has a really interesting attack that is kind of hard to hit with because it only fires in a cone in front of you. But if you can do it, that stun right there, you absolutely get the stun. And as you can see, a stun is definitely worth using. I'm not a huge fan of the Striker on this one. I would probably give the Dom either a stun Striker or a Striker that had a little bit more range. Maybe something with a Garobi would be really nice. Because although the bazooka is really good, the ammo on it's low. And of course it doesn't reload until all the ammo in the barrel's used. Barrel's a weird thing to say when you're literally firing a shotgun. But I love the Dom. And as you can see, your allies there, Ortega and MASH, will actually stick around even if you take a hit. So it's definitely a good thing to use them whenever you can. They're not as accurate as they could be because they shoot where you're shooting. So if you miss, they miss. But at the same time, it's absolutely worth it in my opinion to be using them at all times. Because they're literally just a free shot for you. They go on standby if you're not shooting, and then they'll shoot where you shoot. So they're great. And then, of course, by using any direction while using the input... well, I went down to a Striker. By using any input while having them out of any direction, they'll automatically go on the offensive. And Ortega will go for the melee, and MASH will go for the shot with the bazooka. But yeah, should you use the Dom? Yes, you should use the Dom. It's one of the best 200 costs in the game, in my opinion. You should absolutely give it a try. If you like melee, should you use the Dom? Yes. If you like range, should you use the Dom? Yeah, probably. The Dom is just a really, really solid unit, and absolutely worth checking out, in my opinion. Especially at a 200 cost, because you're not going to weigh your teammate down, and a 200 with a 500 is normally the type of team that I go with. I'm normally the 200 in the match, and Chase is normally either the 400 or the 500. And alone, the fact that if the 500 goes down, it's not over yet, because your 200 is probably still hanging around, or if the 200 goes down, what does it really matter? Obviously, you don't die as much as you can, but 200s, they definitely should be used more than they are, from what I see playing online. But the Dom's great. Use the Dom. I've been Trey, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Dom has to offer.